Morning. I am gonna be dressing up what will be high protein cheesecake bars. Right now I'm breaking up some freeze-dried raspberries that would be part of the crumble on top. We're also gonna crush some pistachios, and we're gonna mix a classic patisserie style soft and glossy drizzle. The last version of this that I made, I used melting wafers, like vanilla melting wafers. But after I drizzled it, they kind of like dried hard. And then when you wanted to like break away your bar, right, out of like the tray, it just wasn't the right presentation. It wasn't giving what I wanted it to give. So today, version 2, there's a few things different about this version. So version 1, I used pistachio butter in the crust, and I used what ended up being more than in this version, protein powder in the crust. There was also protein powder in the filling, which was fine, but the crust was a little too crumbly and like not in the right way, and like I could just taste too much of it tasted a little too healthy. For as healthy as I want them to be, I don't want them to taste healthy. And then the filling wasn't pistachio-y forward enough. So I went back to the drawing table and we bumped down the protein powder in the crust. We bumped up the pistachio. I skipped the pre-made pistachio butter, and I took what were already dry roasted pistachio kernels, and on the stove top, I actually toasted them yesterday, and then those were pieced together into different parts of the recipe. So part of that was ground up finely and it went into the crust. Some of it was crushed by hand and it also went into the crust. And so I'm hoping the crust will be more pistachio forward, less protein powdery. And then for our filling, the first version had a 3.5 fat Greek yogurt in it. This one is going to have a 0% fat Greek yogurt in it. We're still using a third less fat cream cheese. And ideally, with that reduction of fat all over the board, it'll help our pistachio flavor come a little bit more forward. We also bumped up our pistachio in the filling. We also added a tiny bit of almond extract to help that pistachio bump up in flavor. And immediately just looking at the cheesecake, when it went in and out of the oven, you could just, it definitely had more pistachio, kind of like you could see the pistachio in it. The first one was a little bit like, what's that? So yeah, so that's where we're at today. The second version, I baked it off yesterday. It's on this channel if you want to, hello, if you want to follow along for the recipe. I'm pretty sure I rattled it off yesterday while I was baking it. And so this is our second attempt at baking for my future boyfriend. The joke is that I want my future boyfriend to be in the gym just as much as I am. And we gotta, for as much as we have our little treats, we gotta do it for the gains. And so we're making something that's high protein, but still mouth and taste delicious. Mouth feel good and taste delicious. So that's our goal today. So this right now is just about making sure that I break up enough raspberry, because the first time I made this, when I got to this step, the dressing of the cheesecake and turning it into bars, I did not have enough raspberry crumble that time around. So this time I'm trying to make sure that I take the time to crumble out enough raspberry, because we want it to be even across our bars. Because very soon I'm going to be unwrapping that, taking our ruler and dividing it up into 16 even bars, as even as we can with a cornered pan. It's not like it has like even edges. Anyways, that's the perfectionist in me. ADHD. So yeah, so we're gonna divide the pan into 16 bars. Then we're gonna drizzle our drizzle that we're gonna make over it, our vanilla drizzle that I'm gonna mix in a minute. I've already pre-measured out the ingredients for that off camera. And then it's about working in steps. And so making sure that everything is prepped accordingly, so that when it's time to hustle and move and assemble, all of our little ingredients are ready to go. But you also want to do them in steps. So first is our raspberry crumble. We're almost there. Almost there. Almost there. I don't want to pulse these in the Ninja, because then it'll just become powder, and I want it to feel like raspberry kernels, like you bit into a raspberry, right? That's the vibe. Not raspberry dust could be cute. I could play with that. That actually could be an option. It would definitely be, this step would be easier. It would just be put it in the Ninja and pulse it. But we're there. We are there, because now what's left in here is pretty crumbly, and we can leave some of them kind of big so that you know it's raspberry. So now we have our freeze-dried raspberries in our bowl. Set that aside. Now we need to put half a teaspoon of vanilla for our drizzle. Half a teaspoon. Boom. We have our vanilla paste. By the way, feel free to hit subscribe. Hi, I'm MeMeCherry. I like to go live and bake. Sometimes I like to work on rhinestone projects. I'm working on my Sabrina Carpenter Halloween costume right now. I also rhinestone Labubus, and this morning I was working on a Swarovski crystal Labubu, which is going to end up being my most expensive Labubu when I'm done with it, because those little crystals are expensive and it takes a lot of them to cover a Labubu. I also have a cute little podcast called Series of Fortune Events. As you can tell, I'm a little bit of a yapper. So if you like yappers, feel free to check it out. I interview all kinds of amazing, interesting people, performers, DJs, rappers, ventriloquists, burlesque clowns, drag performers, comedians, politicians, all kinds of people. And I just put out an amazing episode with local performer Lunchbox, who's a DJ rapper, and we had a great time. They are just a fun little yapper, and we were yapping away about their career. We were talking about Cardi B. We were talking about all kinds of fun things. So that episode is out right now, so feel free to check it out. It's on this channel. All right, so now we have our pistachio kernels that we're gonna crush a little bit, and this is my secret sauce easy way to do this. So we put it in a bag, but then we also want to put something around it so that we're not breaking holes into our bag when we're smashing. So now we're going to smash. And we're going to look and see. And it's so protected, it barely did anything. So we're going to take some layers off of this. And instead of quadruple, let's make it a double.
Do it like we made it.
How about now? We got closer now. Okay, we're getting there. But see, the bag broke. So we don't want to lose our kernels. So but I can smell the pistachio now. All right, let's see now. All right, we have a hole in our bag, so we got to be careful. I feel like it's almost there. I just want it a tiny bit more broken, but I've moved our kernels away from our broken edge of the bag. All right. Okay, that's better. Okay, so we're going to take this bag and we're going to put it in our little container. Just might as well use the hole in the bag that we made. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we have our crushed pistachios. Ta-da! Okay, cute. We're getting there. So, if you're just getting here, I'm dressing high protein, what will end up being high protein pistachio cheesecake bars. And so right now we're preparing all of our dressing that's going to be on top. So we have crumbled up freeze-dried raspberries. We have freshly crushed just now pistachios. And now I'm going to mix up a quick little powdered sugar, not protein powder, powdered sugar, a tiny bit of milk, and a little bit of vanilla bean paste for a vanilla drizzle that will end up being soft enough and tacky enough to collect our toppings that are going to go on top. But you know what? First, let's take a minute to divide our squares. That's where we are now. Because as soon as I have that drizzle mixed, I just want to start working with it. I don't want it to like sit there. So let's put this aside. We're now at the point that we're gonna divide up our squares. So this was baked yesterday. And again, this is high protein pistachio cheesecake that will be now cut into bars. I got a little bit of condensation, so we're going to take, I don't have any paper towels left, so we're going to take one of these and just give it a little pat, get some of that condensation off of there. I did let it cool yesterday, but it still was a tad bit warm when it went into the fridge. So it makes sense that there's a tiny bit of condensation on there. So we're just gonna get some of that moisture off of there. It cracked a little bit, but that's fine. They're gonna be bars and they're gonna have dressing on top. So we won't really see our cracks, but it's not too bad. Okay, so this is our, getting the parchment paper out of the way. This is the cheesecake that I baked yesterday. So now we're going to portion it into 16 portions. So every 3 inches. 3, 3, 3. Nope, that's not. Nope, it's every 2.5. 2.5. Two and a half. Nope, that's not it either. If it's 9 divided in 4. 9 divided in 4. 6, that's 3. Let's do the centimeters. 22, 23. That's actually 23. 23 divided by 4. So that's, oh God, my brain is not working right now. What is the math? 23. Is it 23 even? Let's actually do the actual proper math. So it's a little bit off. So it is 22. So it is 22 centimeters. So 22, right? 5.5. So 5.5 centimeters is our marker. So 5.5. We gotta find a new place to mark. So 5.5. Meow. I need to take this out. We can't do this in the pan. This is not working. See, it's all troubleshooting. We gotta, at least I know my number now, but we gotta pull this out of the pan. That I do need to do. I think that's gonna be easier. Trying to measure inside the pan with something that's not fitting inside the pan is like not working. So let's pull this out. Give ourselves better space to work on. And let's reset, actually. Now we can properly lay this on, get a proper measurement. It is 22 centimeters. So we are going for 5.5 here. And then that's our 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. There's our even markers. So now, and this ruler, I only use it for cooking. So let's get an even line, actually. Our 5.5 down here. Get these to line up. Cute. Wait. Cute. Okay. So now we come down, cut through the crust. Come down, cut through the crust. Beautiful. See, we're working it out. We're working it out on the remix. Now, clean edge. We're gonna do that again. Get our 5.5 down here. Get our 5.5 down here. Now we get our edge to edge, clean line. We come, cut through the crust, bring back up, come through the crust. We clean our edge again. Okay, it's clean. We move our ruler down, edge to edge. We're lined up beautifully. We cut through our crust, through our crust, through our crust, through the crust. Great. Now we have to do this one more time. So we're gonna flip this around. clean our edge again. And now, bring everything back together. Cute. We know it's our 5.5 centimeters is our target. So 5.5. Here's our target. 5.5. Here's our target. 5.5. There's our target. And so now we lay this across again. And we come to the top. And we cut through to the crust. And through to the crust. And let's clean our edge. And this way, you have as nice and even as you can get portions out of a homemade, situation, right? Because we want it to look good, but it's still homemade at the end of the day. So we're not going to get perfection, but I like, we eat with our eyes first. And so I like to make things look nice as much as possible, as pleasing to the eye as possible. So we keep cleaning our edge, because if it's full of gunk, it's going to make it harder to cut through. And we're going to do our last cut of the line. So we line this up again. Wait, nope, work with me, not against me. We line up and we cut. We line up and we cut. Beautiful. All right. All right. So now we have our portioned out squares. And let's dab them down one more time. Get that moisture from the condensation from being in the fridge. Okay, and our clean towel is no longer clean. Bye-bye towel. All right, so now we have our beautiful pistachio, high protein pistachio cheesecake bars. Now we're gonna set this aside. And now we're gonna make our drizzle. So we have milk that I'm gonna pour into the little bowl that has the vanilla bean paste in it. And now we're gonna mix that vanilla bean paste into the milk and turn it into like just very vanilla-y milk, but we get all that vanilla bean paste. All that vanilla bean paste. I find it easiest to work with vanilla bean paste if you can incorporate it and emulsify it into a liquid like milk. Makes it easier. All right, so now we have our vanilla-y milk and we have our powdered sugar. And I'm gonna pour this and get all that yummy vanilla off the bottom. You don't want any vanilla left behind. And now, with the power of our whisk, okay, get a whisk ready, and we're gonna make our drizzle. Feels a little thick. I guess that's fine. Feels a little thick, but we don't want it too runny either. Let me see. Yeah, that's good actually. It's not as thick as I thought. So don't need to add any more milk. Okay, great. Beautiful. So now what I'm gonna do is pour this into a little piping bag to help. Hello. Okay, so we're gonna take a cup that can keep our piping bag upright. One of my stash of piping bags. These are very, very handy. Put it in the cup, and then I flip the edge over the cup, like so. And we kind of push back in the bag. So that edge is going to come up a little bit, but we still want it over the edge. And now we have our piping bag in our cup. And so now what we're going to take is our beautiful vanilla drizzle that we just made. We're going to pour it into our bag. All right. This is beautiful. I was a little worried about the consistency when I was mixing it, but it's actually beautiful. It's perfect. I wanted it to be soft enough to drizzle, but I don't want it to like melt. And so if it's too liquidy, it'll just kind of melt away. We don't want that. Okay, so now we have our drizzle. We have, whoa, hey. So let me get everything in frame. We have our high protein pistachio. There we go. Okay, so we have our high protein pistachio chia, because I also put chia into this batch to help bump up the protein while cutting down the protein powder from the first version, because it just had too much protein powder. It is an easy way to add protein to a baked good, but I don't want it to taste like protein powder. So that's why these are like recipe development experiments. I'm hoping that this one, I bumped down the protein powder in the recipe, bumped up the protein with chia, and we also bumped up the pistachio level because I wanted it to be more pistachio forward. And part of that was also cutting down some of the fat from the first version. So it already smells amazing. It looks amazing. So now we're going to add our drizzle, add our toppings, and then we're there. And hopefully whenever my future boyfriend comes into my life, I will have mastered these, and it can be one of the things that I can do to keep them happy and healthy and having sweet little treats at home after we go to the gym together on our cute little gym dates. That's what I'm trying to manifest. Anyways, done yapping. Let's start decorating. So I'm going to take this drizzle, and just start at the corner and just drizzle. And have fun. I'm going to make sure you have your piping bag in your hand so you can squeeze out as needed. I'll just go back and forth. It is a little soft, so it doesn't look as much like a drizzle like the melted wafers did, but that's okay. And we're going to leave a little bit so that if we want to drizzle it on top of our now other crumbly toppings, we can always do one last drizzle. Hello. Thank you. All right, so let's start with our raspberry crumble. And I kind of envision just like now rows this way for our raspberry and our pistachio to give it that kind of like bakery, patisserie kind of energy. But now we also, I don't want to lay them all out with tweezers, but let's keep going. It's a delicate little dance. I don't want to do it all with tweezers. Okay. Okay. But this is where it gets a little harder. Ooh, I'm holding my breath. Are you holding your breath? Ooh, I need to breathe. I'm so nervous. I'm holding my breath. I don't know why. It's not like I'm entering these into a contest or something. It's the perfectionist in me. It's that neurospicy baddie. When you're a neurospicy baddie and you got perfectionist tendencies, whew, sometimes it can get to you. I'm telling you. Come on. It can get to you. I mean, look at me. I pulled out the giant tweezers. Like, hello? Okay. We're gonna keep going. We're not gonna get too stuck. Are we? We are gonna get a little stuck. I want them to look good. And you gotta have like even distribution, especially of your pop of color. You have to be intentional. Can't just be like whatever about it. You gotta like actually give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep going. Okay. We're gonna just trust ourselves. This is where we go, you know what, Mimi? You have to trust yourself. You have good instincts. You have artist hands. Just let your hands do the work, and then we can come back and clean it up. It's like makeup. If you're really good at makeup, you're gonna mess up sometimes, but if you're really good at it, you know how to clean it up. And that's what we're doing. It's just trusting ourselves, trusting our instincts, and then going over it and just doing a little cleanup. You know? Not every winged eyeliner is perfect the first time. Even the 20th time. That winged eyeliner will get you. All right, we're gonna go down our last row with our raspberry crumble. And once again, these are freeze-dried raspberries. What? Right here. That I took the time to crumble up into little kernels. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Look at that. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. And we're not even done. Can you believe that we're not even done? We're not even done. We're just halfway there, BB. We're just halfway there, BB. Okay. So now let's take our little tweezers. Clean up as needed. Okay. Great. How are we feeling? How are we feeling in the chat? Do you think my future boyfriend would like these? All right. So, clean up our tongs. Oh, well, life be like that sometimes. Okay, I'm going to put these away so that they're not in my way. Okay. Now, we're going to take our beautiful pistachio crumbles, and we're going to now put them on the other side. We have a mix of like very crumbly, almost powder. Let me get the crumbly powder down first, and then we'll go back over it with the more bigger nut pieces. But I want to make sure we get enough of the crumbly everywhere. All right, so now we go back. We add some more pistachio on here. Oh, that's just a nut. We don't want just big nut pieces. We want them crushed. Crushed. Okay, we'll just keep going with our little crumbly pieces and keep filling in that other edge. Little by little. Little by little. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it smells amazing. This smells beautiful. It smells rich, darling. It smells like she likes to take vacations, which I do. This is beautiful. I'm actually really, I'm really impressed with myself. So now I want to add one more little piece de resistance. So it's either shimmer spray, which I'm leaning towards, or a drop of gold foil or copper foil edible onto each one. I'll pull them out of the pantry. You let me know in the chat. We actually have a few options for our final decorative moment to make them feel very luxe and like a high-end bakery moment. We have our sugar pearls, our gold sugar pearls, but then they have a bit of a crunch on them, so this is like my least favorite option. We have gold and rose gold kind of coppery edible flakes. And then we also have edible shimmer in like a pinky gold and a gold. I was thinking gold shimmer spray instead of like the flakes. What do we think? The spray, and then they just kind of have like a little like shimmer to them. I kind of like that. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So this is gold edible glitter from Sweet Spell. It's 100% food grade and tasteless. It's a little tricky, this little container. I've used it a few times. It's a little tricky, but we're gonna play around with it, and you're gonna see me use it. And if you ever want to order some, you know that. I've seen other people use different brands that have a more consistent output in the spray. It just sometimes tends to be a little sputtery. Like, I don't want to use any crude words, but like, anyways, we're gonna try. We're gonna, thank you, glitter. We're gonna hope that you work today. Because sometimes it comes out in like nice sprays, and sometimes it just comes out in like bursts. So we're gonna see what happens today. So we're using gold edible. There we go. Okay, it's working today. It's cooperating. It's working. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, we threw a little bit of the gold, and you know what? I'm gonna go, I agree with you on the comments. We're gonna go with the rose gold, a little bit of pink too. The pink is the one that comes out in spurts. Sometimes it comes out in little spurts, and sometimes it comes out in big spurts. So it's a little harder to control. All right. So now they have that edible shimmer. It doesn't really capture on camera well, but it does give it that like mwah in person. Do we still add a tiny bit of rose gold fleck? I think that's too much. They don't need it. I think that would make it too busy, too much. I am team too much, but that would be team too much. Hi, Beans. Right? It looks great. I feel like we're good. Like sometimes you have to like take a step back and like not do too much. Again, team too much sometimes, but you got to know when to edit. Okay, I'm going to put these in the pan. I'm going to put these away in the pantry. I'll be right back. Bye. Sorry, my pantry's very little and these are very little and they just don't cooperate always. Okay. Okay, cute. Ooh. Now, do they need... Let me do it on one. Okay. I did a drizzle squiggle on a corner. Let's see. You can't really tell that. Well, actually, I think I do like it a little. I think I do like a little sprinkle of the drizzle on our. So let's just very quickly take the last of our drizzle and just kind of get it on there. It'll melt into itself, so it's okay that we're being a little messy. But I like it actually. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like adding that extra drizzle on top. I really think it brings it all together nicely. Ooh, oh my gosh. Do I give it a taste test? All right, I have to taste test it, especially with you with me. Okay, so this is a journey. This has been a process. I made version 1 2 days ago, and again, that version, it tasted okay. It wasn't bad. It just tasted a little too healthy. I do have a recipe, and if they taste really good, I can post them in the community tab and share the recipe. Okay, so the first version, okay, to me they didn't taste pistachio-y enough. To me the crust tasted a little too much like protein powder, and they were okay. They weren't bad, but they tasted a little too healthy. And they were healthy, right? We want them to be healthy, but we don't want it to taste healthy. We want it to taste like a little treat, like me. Okay, so now this is version 2. And version 2 has some modifications to it. So version 2, instead of using pre-made pistachio butter in the crust, like the first one, I ground up fresh pistachios, finely ground them up, and crushed pistachios into the crust. So our crust is already more pistachio forward. And I cut the protein powder overall in the recipe, and I brought in chia seeds. I love using chia seeds. It's a sneaky way to bump up the fiber and the protein. And so there's chia seeds in the recipe also. And then our filling has a bump up of pistachio, and our Greek yogurt is reduced in fat from the first time around. And so hopefully that reduction in fat will help the pistachio flavor be a little bit more forward on our palate. Oh my God, I'm like drooling right now. I'm like Wendy Williams drooling. Okay, all right. I have to, okay, I guess it's taste test time. All right, who's ready? But see, they're high protein because, you know, for the gains, because I work really hard in the gym. So I want my little treats to help. Right now, my bicep is 16 inches. I want it to be 16.5. by the end of the year. All right, so let's take, I'm like scared. Why am I scared? Okay, so let's give you, this is what it looks like. Let me fix the light. This is what it looks like on the inside. And on the top. And now, all right, let's see. So much better. Now this, now this is what I envisioned. I can taste the pistachio, not just from the nuts on top, but like in the filling. The crust is crumbly in the right way, but it doesn't have that protein powder. Mm. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. This is it. This is the one. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh, and there's also a little bit of almond, como se dice, extract in the second version to help bump up that overall nuttiness. And it really comes through nicely. Oh my god, my it's just like a party in my mouth. This is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna jot this recipe out. I'm gonna take some good pictures, and I'm gonna put this recipe in the community tab. So if you haven't hit subscribe, feel free to hit subscribe. Hi, I'm MeMeCherry. I like to go live sometimes and bake. I also work on rhinestoning projects. I'm currently making my Sabrina Carpenter costume, so I'm slowly DIYing that together. So sometimes I go live and I work on my costume. Sometimes I rhinestone the boo-boos. And I also have a podcast, so you can find all of that on this channel. This, for my series, Baking for My Future Boyfriend, this is a hit. I am very confident that my future boyfriend is going to love these. So we're going to jot these down as a success. Actually, I'm going to start this I am going to make this a new series. I was joking around like, oh, baking for my new boyfriend. But I think this is cute for my future boyfriend. New boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend, so there's no new boyfriend. I'm trying to manifest a future boyfriend. Anyways, I'm going to keep doing this series, Baking for My Future Boyfriend, which is basically high protein goodies, because I like to go to the gym and I'm trying to manifest and envision cute little gym dates. And then we come home and we have one of these. Can you imagine coming home from the gym and having one of these? Wouldn't that be so lovely? All right, I'm going to clean up and I'm going to go enjoy the weather. It's really nice outside. I'm going to go swim. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hit that subscribe. I'll be back either later today or at some point this week. With my rhinestone projects and probably another baked good series. The next one that I want to make, that I've been working up the recipe for, is high protein brownie bites. So those will be next in the series. So again, hit subscribe if you want to just hang out with me, or if you want to tag along and try these recipes with me, that'd be great. Feel free to try them at home and tag me. Again, I'm going to put this recipe on the community tab because I feel like this one was successful. This one is worth sharing. So I will happily share this recipe. All right, darlings, I hope to see you soon. And if I never see you again, I hope you have a great life. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.